What's happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people? What is going on? And my word, look what we have here in front of us. We have Bokang, aka Little Giant from One Championship over here. Thank you so much for joining us, Bokang. This is incredible. Thank you for joining us and gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you for having me, brother. And I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's an honor to be here.
Oh, I'm so, I've been a big fan of yours for quite some time, as you know. We follow you and we watch all the incredible stuff that you post, on your socials, all your fights, since you've been with One. But for the people that don't know you, because I know a little bit about you, you know what I mean. But for the people that don't know you, my audience that don't know you, that don't know about you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, and how you came into MMA?
Okay. Yeah, so those that don't know me, my name is Bokang, known as Little Giant. And basically, I started before actually my journey with MMA. I started my journey at the orphanage, where I lived in an orphanage from the age of 6. And I started actually before anything else. I started by wrestling, which was actually crazy because I got in a fight with one of the kids, and
Right.
he was messing with one of my friends, so I threw him off the jungle gym, and I just jumped on him and I started throwing punches, and they called us in, and they punished us, and my cousin was like, "Hey man, you should come do wrestling. You're quite strong. You're quite good. Come try it out and see if you like it."
Mm.
And that's when I started joining wrestling, and I realized I'm actually getting good at it. And from then, I had a guy called Alibek Vecher, and he'll help me out with my future. And that's what I did. So I did the move. I went to live with him.
Mm.
He got people to come adopt me to live with them, and very lovely family. And they adopted me, and I think that was the best thing that has happened in my life.
Ah.
And I actually wanted to take wrestling serious. I wanted to become a world champion. I wanted to become a Olympian. And unfortunately, with circumstances, my Russian coach had to leave.
Mm.
And it was a very dark time of my life then. But I still tried carrying on with wrestling, and I realized also very hard to make money, out of wrestling, or to make a living with wrestling. There's some places around the world where you can actually make a living out of Olympic sports,
Mm.
but wrestling is not very big in South Africa. So
Yeah.
I decided to go into teaching actually. So the plan
Wow.
was to become a teacher, and to help out with physicality and PE, and then to become an art teacher. And after a year, I decided, what, I still have something in me. I'd like to
Mm.
try out this MMA thing. I really enjoy, being physical, and I just enjoy martial arts in general.
Mm.
And so I took that chance, and I went up to Joburg to one of the best coaches in Africa, named Richie Kwan. He's coached multiple international fighters, like the likes of Don Match, the likes of Chad Hennecombe, Chris Cyborg,
Mm.
and a few of the great guys that he's coached, that are actually making waves in Africa. And so I decided to train with them. So yeah, in South Africa, we've got load shading right now, where the
Yes.
power goes off every
GI
like
Jess
10
actually
minutes.
told me, because I was supposed to speak to Jess today. Jess Monami, GI Jess.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
yes. She told me
Yeah,
about the load shedding today.
it's a very big problem here in South Africa. So even if you have good network or anything, it's very hard to stay connected.
Yeah.
But I'll just do my best as we go.
No, we understand. We totally understand.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay,
please
perfect.
continue.
Yeah, and so Richie Kwan was the guy that actually improved my fighting game, my style of fighting, my wrestling got better with him, and he actually got me into one championship. And after a year or two in one championship, I decided to move. That was after the lockdown. I decided to move back to Cape Town,
Mm.
where I could train at Medford MMA with Don Madge, who fights at the PFL right now,
Yeah. Yep.
and with a boxing coach called Matt. And I've been doing my MMA there since then, and I've got a few wins, made it to the number 2 ranked,
Wow.
and hopefully fight for the title soon. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
that's my story, you know. So
That's what's up, Bokang,
yes,
man. That's what's up. That's
yeah,
what's up. Let's go back a little bit to like where you was just coming up, growing up, from the orphanage. I wanted to ask you, do you think that period of time in your life, growing up in such conditions, do you think it helps build character and inner strength? At least, depending on the person, but in your case, how did it help you overcome that mental side of the poverty that you have to go through? Because I can imagine, I'm from Africa myself, I'm from Nigeria myself, so I know how hard things are over there. How did that help you get over things mentally?
yes. Look, in South Africa, there's a very big difference between with the first world country and with the third world country. So
Mm,
there's a level of poverty, and there's a very big level of wealth.
yeah.
So I was born in the poverty side, and
Mm,
honestly, in my in from what I grew up from, it was very hard for me to see it as a disadvantage.
mm,
I was around people with the same amount of poverty as me, and the best thing was to stay positive and
yep.
and look forward to the opportunities that we were granted.
Mm,
As much as I remember, there was so much talented kids that should have changed their mental state on how, to better themselves.
yeah.
And I think that really played a very important role, having that mentality of being grateful for every single moment that happens in your life, and not trying to blame yourself and make yourself a, what do you call, um, you don't want to victimize yourself so
Yes.
much that
Self-pity.
everything else that happens in your life, then you just keep breaking yourself down. So that was, I think, a very important role for me. The more grateful I became, and the harder I worked towards something, the luckier I became in life.
Mm,
And I am forever grateful for that. And
100%.
the fact that I'm right where I am in my career or in my life, I have no reason to stop.
Yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
reason to victimize myself anymore, but to be more grateful and to look forward to what the future has for me.
Fantastic. Fantastic book, and fantastic. I mean, I want to say, over here in the UK, we love you. You know what I mean? We
Uh,
support what you do with over there. When you made that post that day about your South African fans, I'm like, no, you got fans over here in the UK too.
wow, thank you,
I
brother. I
mean, we love you
appreciate
over
that.
here. We love what you do.
Jeez.
And for me, what you do on a daily basis is one of the most spectacular things that I see on a daily basis on
Oh,
Instagram.
wow.
I wake up and I have to go and check your story and see what other crazy shit is Bokang up to today. I mean,
Yes, sir.
and I'm talking precision stuff, like
Yeah.
precision violence, precision, you know, just being an athlete with precision. You're one of the best that I've seen at it,
Thank you, sir.
without no stunts, no stunt man, no nothing. Just you doing what you do is incredible. What
Thank you.
wisdom have you learned through
Right.
precision violence, like being precise in your craft? What is the
Uh,
wisdom that comes with that? How did you put all of that together? Please tell us.
yes, sir. So the biggest thing is having that discipline, or
Mm,
also having not to care about what other people think.
mm,
You wanna make a decision and you wanna stick to it. And
yes.
I remember the day I told the parent that adopted me that I'm
Mm,
gonna actually switch from teaching into mixed martial arts.
wow.
And he said, that's a very big risk I'm taking. I already
Mm.
have a safe job and everything else. And I told him, look, this is something I like to do, and if I fail at this, I'm gonna be fine, with
Yeah.
with whatever else that counts.
Wow.
And I had no plan two for that, or plan B for that. So I decided to just try it out, stay disciplined as much as I could. And also it's the people that you surround yourself with, that makes a
Mm.
very big difference. I'm
Yeah.
surrounded with killers, man. The guys from
Oh yes.
Richie Kwan in Joburg. Those guys are
Yep.
just killers, and they're very disciplined, very respectful guys. And those are
Mm.
guys to look up to. Um,
Mm.
and I was lucky enough when I moved back to Cape Town to find Medford MMA, where I could train with Don and I could train with Matt, which is very nice. And uh, like sometimes, or not sometimes, every day I wake up, I drive to the gym with Don. Every single day we at the gym. There's days where I don't feel like going to train, man. Like some days it's just too hard. But if you see guys that are disciplined, like the likes of Don and all the other guys I train with.
Yep.
Funny story, actually.
Yep.
Speaking of surrounding yourself with guys that forces you to improve.
Mm.
This morning, last night I was struggling to sleep. And
Yeah.
I had, I don't know, I probably had like 3 or 4 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I messaged Don this morning telling him, hey, bro, I'm not going to be able to make it to the gym. He start asking why, man. Tell him I'm tired. It's like, yeah, but it's sparring day today, and all that. And like, within 10 minutes, I got myself ready, went for a shower. I was like, you know what? I went to that sparring still feeling a bit tired, but
You
crazy
got it
enough,
done.
it was my best sparring because I
Wow.
was able to push myself a bit
Mm.
further than how tired I felt. And crazy enough, it was the best sparring. And like I say, if you don't have the guys like that around you,
Yeah.
it's very hard, man. And I'm grateful for that. As much as you feel like when it's happening, you're like, oh man, this sucks, man. This sucks. But then at the end of the day, I'm so glad that I actually ended up waking up, taking a quick shower, and heading to the gym and go spar. So
Yes.
I believe it's very important to have the right people around you. If if
Yeah.
if you're not happy within the space you're at, the best thing to do for you is to move to where you think you might find the right people.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I agree with you. Wanted to ask you. I mean, I think you've already told us, anyways. But let me see. Maybe this might prompt a different answer from you. If you
Okay.
weren't doing MMA
Yeah.
with the passion that you're doing it with, what would you really be doing if you wasn't doing MMA? Would it be teaching or would it be something totally different?
To be honest, I would have probably drifted around and have done other stuff. I don't know. I have a passion for teaching or transferring knowledge, and
Yep.
I have a very big passion for art. So I would have
Right.
probably turned my direction more into just sticking to art and just trying
Yeah.
to become an artist or trying to teach art. But
Yeah.
honestly, it's very hard to see myself as doing anything else, because
Anything
I
else?
remember when I stopped teaching, when I stopped being involved with teaching, I had no other plans. I just took my stuff and I drove to the gym, lived in the gym, and that's all I did.
No
And I
plan B.
just,
No plan
yes,
B
I
at
had no
all.
plan B. I just took my stuff, went to the gym. I think I only had 1,000 rand
Wow.
in my bank account, and I just thought, okay, this is this is a fresh start, and I guess this is how it is. Just jump in the deep waters and swim. Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean,
Yeah.
what a story! I mean, if nothing, people, if you're listening, if nothing else inspires you, just listen to the story of this man. If there's a dream of yours, and it's something that you really want to do, just follow your dream.
Yes,
Follow your
sir.
dream. Don't look back, and put discipline towards it. You're more than likely going to achieve that dream. And that's the
Yes, sir.
message that Bokang is spreading today. And thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for giving that
100%.
knowledge to our
Yes,
viewers
sir.
today.
Yes,
You took
sir.
your first pro loss against Jared Brooks at 156. Can you tell us
Yes, that's
what was going through your mind, and is there any adjustments that you would have made now in hindsight, having been through that experience with Jared Brooks?
Oh yes, definitely. I've actually made a few adjustments, which is I'm quite
Oh, great.
excited to see what
Mm,
I've got coming up.
right.
Going into that fight, as much as I knew it was gonna be a tough fight for me.
Mm,
I think the fact that I had gone up the rankings and gone up the fighting ranks so quick, with the different ways of how they test your hydration and everything before you get on the scale at one championship. So
mm,
I never had to diet. I never had to, fix how I eat or anything. So I just trained and I just fought, without really making a proper plan for the fight. Every now and then I'll see how the guy fights and then I'll just try to adjust those small things, and that was it. And I have no excuses for that loss, but I feel like I could have done so much better by preparing earlier or just asking for more time to
mm,
prepare for the fight properly.
mm.
Because I took that fight straight after COVID,
Yeah,
and I was busy shooting I was part of the stunts team for a movie. So it was between those times where I was not training and inactive and not eating as healthy. So it was a whole lot of things that happened.
yeah.
And taking no excuses to Jared Brooks. He's a phenomenal
Oh,
fighter.
no, no, no,
He's
no.
amazing. He's a champ for a
Yeah.
reason.
Mm,
And yeah, so I've started taking my diet much more professionally.
yep.
Keeping up the hard training. Trying not to take time off. So I've been literally training for the last year and a half now, nonstop,
Yeah.
which is very good. Because of the period time of COVID, I took a long time off. So
Mm,
I'm quite glad to see that I'm active now in the gym, and
yep.
hopefully one championship will offer me a fight soon.
Yeah, man. I, I want to say, especially when you talk about your nutrition with the discipline and the adjustments that you've made. Every time that I see you, in a picture or doing one of your stuff, or even sparring with Don March, because it's like your best friend, isn't it? Both of you
Yes,
roll
sir.
together all the time, like everywhere where there's little giant Don March is there. Every time you see
Yes,
it.
sir.
And that's incredible. And we even noticed that all the way over here from the UK. We notice it. We see it all the
That's
time.
amazing.
Both for you. You know what I mean? Like you side
Yes,
by side
sir.
all the time. And you some of those pictures and the physique that you're carrying, that goes to your nutrition, like you said. Not
Yes, sir.
feeding, going through the right way, and feeding properly. With your physique as well, and putting the work in just to stay ready and stay sharp all the time, is incredible. So those are
Yeah.
those are fantastic adjustments that we've seen that you've put together, and hopefully it should help you in good stead for getting back into the cage. But I wanted to
Oh,
ask you,
yes.
you won 6 times in under a year, in under one calendar year. You won 6 fights, 6 straight
Yes.
fights, capturing 2 regional belts along the way.
Yes. That's
What can you credit that to? What can you say really made that happen? Is it like work ethic or your and domination that you put on display? What would you say made that happen?
Yeah, I think those early years of my fight career were very important,
Mm,
because what I did is I left for gym for 2 years straight, and I think the time that I was in the gym probably put me another 4 or 5 years ahead of
mm,
of, of, of the game, because I'm now only 7 years or 6 years into the MMA game, and
yeah.
which is, I feel like I made it into one championship in a very short space of time, or I made all those wins in a very short space of time. And I think it was that work ethic that I had put in, that standard that I've set for myself, you know. Deciding to live in the gym and just grind it out, you know, those the boring stuff that most people don't like doing, you know. And I think that helped me a lot, you know. And I always say, as much as this sport is a one-man sport, I believe the people around you are very important. And that's what happened. I think the guys around me saw my goal, saw my dream, and it was easier for them to help me out, you know, to reach my potential. And I could see what I was planning. And that's what I liked about or I still like about Coach Khan, you know. He every one of his fights, they're all different. We all have different styles, and he always finds a way to work into our fighting style and to implement that into our game plan, which is quite amazing, you know. So I think it was that mastermind of Richie Kwan and the hard work and determination that I've put in those years that actually led me to win 6 fights in a row, win 2 titles, and which was incredible, you know. And every time it just got harder and harder, but I can see myself, if I look back from the way I was punching the bag, the way I was hitting the pads, it's like 2 different guys. And so I think that it's so important, that hard work and just being patient, you know. I think what we've lost in this generation, especially guys our age, is that we want instant gratification, you know. Sometimes I fall into that trap, but then I look back from what I've been doing to where I am, and it took time and just patience. And so I hope everyone listening, I hope we all remember that it just doesn't happen in a day, you know. It didn't take a day to build Rome, you know. So we just need to keep working hard and stay patient. And I believe the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Fantastic. Another gem, another diamond dropped by Bokang himself on this interview. Let me ask you, you did an interview with Brooke before that fight, and things got very, very heated. I mean, people that see that interview and they're watching you now, they'll think it's 2 different people, you know. Bokang was a demon over there during that interview. It got very, very heated. But I wanted to ask you, what is the importance of trash talking and the psychological side of it going into a fight or preparing for a fight? What's the importance of that trash talk to get that psychological edge?
Oh yes, I think trash talk is also a part of a fight, you know. It's like, okay, I beat you at this, I've already have you now, you know. Now the next thing is to win the fight. And it's the biggest thing I've learned while I was trash talking Jared Brooks is to stay to your true self, you know. People do the trash talk because they're nervous most of the time, but you have to also like show that you're not scared of that, you know, because they're trying to implement their nerves onto you, or they're trying to to show that they're also scared. And I had to try to stay true to myself, you know, like as much as angry as I felt and just wanted to start fighting him there, you know, I could feel my blood boiling already then. And it's very important, you know. It's still good. You need to trash talk, stand your ground, show that you, as a man, you know, that's the guy you want to fight, that's the guy you're going to beat the next day. But it's very important psychologically, because you go into a fight knowing that this guy, hey, it's either this guy tuned me ugly or he spoke shit about me, and now how am I gonna react on the next day of the fight, you know? So I think it's very important, you know. As much as I hate trust talk. It's very important to always stand your ground. Already then, you must already be ready for the fight. As soon as that trust talk start, you guys are no more friends until that fight is over. Then you can become friends.
Become friends again.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, yes, sir.
So I want to take you back a little bit to something you said earlier on that that I stuck to. So obviously leading into that fight with Jared, you said you was involved in some stunts with the movie. Can you tell us more about your role, what movie it was, and tell the viewers a little bit more about that. We want to know a bit more about your acting prowess. Tell us a bit
Yeah,
more, please.
so actually, if you look carefully at the movie, you might see me like once or twice in the background. So
Right.
the movie has been released. It was released last year September. So the movie's name was Woman King. It
The
was
Woman King.
The Woman King, yes.
Yes.
So it was one of the biggest movies that came out last year September, or last year towards the end of the year. And I actually played one of the roles as the Agoji Warriors. Or,
The Agoji Warriors, yes.
Yeah. I was part of the warrior clan and all that. And I don't want to state this wrong. I was part of the Dahomey Warriors.
Dahomey,
that fought, yes.
The Agoji for the Agoji.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so they fought hand in hand with the Agojis, and yeah. And so one of the ladies offered me to go join to the movie, see if I enjoyed the stunt work and everything. So they needed someone that's good with the wrestling and all that, and I actually had fun with it. I think some guys were got surprised with the things that I could do. The movement and the agility. So which was quite fun playing around with that. And
I mean,
yeah.
I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie like 5 times.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Since I've seen that movie like 5 times. I've watched it time and time again, and every time you learn something new from every scene. You think you miss something, and then you pick something else up from another scene, and maybe some of the fight scenes, something you didn't notice before, and then all of a sudden is right there. I have to say, obviously, I saw some of your scenes on there. Incredible fight sequences. Fight scenes that you guys put together. Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, The Woman King, and we got our very old Bokang up in there doing all kind of crazy shit. You know what I mean? So go and watch. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. The Woman King is right out there. It's been released, like you said, since last September. Fantastic movie. So how long did it take from shooting to like the completion where you lot had to go home and be done with the movie?
Yeah, so I shot I think about half. I came into the second half of the movie.
Right, gotcha.
And yeah, so that took about 2 months. And it was long hours. Sometimes you wake up as early as 5 a.m. and literally work all the way through till 2 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
And I have to do it over and over again. So it was long hours, but like it was so much fun, meeting different people outside fighting. And it was amazing having different connections from other people from around the world and from other regions. So it was very nice to
yeah, I mean,
and literally while I was still in the movie, while I was still busy doing stunts, I got a call from one saying, "Hey, we've got a fight offer." And I literally had to leave a few days before they finished the final acting scenes.
Yeah.
But I was mind blown because I was still like, oh, what should I do?
I wish I was still here.
Should I just not drive home and go back to the gym, or what's happening now? But yeah, it felt like great news because it was during the lockdown time. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking, geez, am I even gonna get a fight? I'm vaccinated, I've got everything sorted. And back then, in Africa, they were like, they were very strict on Africans on flying to any other country.
Yeah.
And yeah, luckily one was able to give me that opportunity at that time.
I just wanted to change. I just want to switch gears a little bit. And thank you so much for your time. I know we're like just gone over time a little bit, so please bear with us.
Yes.
I hope you can give us a few more minutes just to
No
get some
problem at
some
all.
more questions in. Thank you so much. Your KO, your finish in one over Rene Catalan is one
Yes,
of
sir.
the most vicious and beautiful. It's vicious, it's violent, it's beautiful, everything all wrapped up in one. Head kick that I've seen of all time. That's a head kick from hell. But how long did it take you to put that sequence together? And is this something that you always trained, knowing that you was going to execute it in that fight?
So for that fight, yes, I trained that left kick. So I usually used to kick the left kick to the body, but that was like I just used it to enter for my wrestling.
Mm.
And so I was working with a Muay Thai guy called Wade Hammett, and with my training partner Wade Cusby. So we were working out that I can set up my, instead of just setting up my wrestling with strikes, why don't I set up my strikes with wrestling this time? So
Right.
now, instead of just throwing punches to enter to wrestle, I can throw punches, enter to wrestle, and as soon as they break out from that, instead of me following them, trying to wrestle them again, why don't I throw a punch? Why don't I throw a kick?
Oh.
And so we tried figuring out what's the best weapon for me, and we figured out that the left kick is actually, my left kick is not bad at all. And so we started working on that. I must just clinch, try to throw strikes so I can clinch, and then as soon as they break off, I throw that kick, or if not, I just throw punches. And we knew very well the guy was fighting. Rene Catalan is a very good stand-up fighter. And so we decided, instead of just standing with him, why don't we clinch fight with them? And which actually worked out perfect. Because I tried it the first time, and I just missed him. I could feel my toe touch him, and I knew, okay, you know what, I must just do it. And yeah, I'm getting there, and I did it again, and boom, it worked out perfect.
Oh my
So
God.
we really worked it. We worked it day in, day out, which was very nice, to execute
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let me put this to you. Finishes like that. First of all, this is a two-part question. Finishes like that, yeah?
Yeah.
How does it make your coaches? Because forget you, your coaches, they put this plan together. And when something you put together in practice, in training, come off like that in a competitive match,
Oh yeah.
how does it make them feel? And
Oh
this,
jeez. Yeah.
and the second part to the question is, does a viral finish like that, that's so crazy like that, does it change your approach into, say, like your future fights and wanting to, does it add pressure to want to finish more fights in that way? Or does every fight have its own sort of story and ending? Please.
Okay, so I'll start by saying my coaches were very proud. As soon as they saw that, they're like, "Yeah, that's the best thing." Listen to your coaches.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not sometimes, every time, it's very important to listen to your coach. Sometimes I've seen other fighters that very talented fighters, but when they get to the fights, their heads just lose their heads. They don't listen to their coaches, and that what leads up to losers and just failure. And secondly, it actually gave me more excitement,
Mm,
to like want to knock more people out. It
mm,
made me like, now people know I'm not just a wrestler. Now they understand that means I've got good stand or I've got decent. So it makes it very difficult for people now to start reading my style of fight, especially my opponents.
yes.
So
Gotcha.
that viral video actually gave my opponent, or gave me big attention to my opponents. So now they're
Right.
not just worried about my wrestling, they're worried about my striking too, which is lovely for me. So it
Yep.
gives me more ground to play around, whether I'm
Yeah.
going to wrestle, whether I'm going to strike with them, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never know what's coming. You keep them guessing, right? You just keep
Yes,
them guessing.
that's the
Yeah, man.
best part of it. Yes,
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
yeah.
If you could fight any current UFC fighter, who would it be and why? Please.
Any current UFC fighter.
Any current UFC fighter.
Uh, I'd honestly, geez, I've never thought of that. I'll probably still stick with the guys in the lower division. I'd probably
Mm-hmm.
want to fight David Figueredo,
Yep.
because he's very good.
Mm.
He's, I think, he's the interim champ, or one of the guys is the interim champ there,
Yeah,
and I
Brandon
think he'll
Moreno
be.
is the interim champ,
Yes,
and
yes,
Figueredo
that's right.
is the main champ, is the undisputed champ. They're actually
Yes, that's
fighting
right.
tonight. I'm going to ask you
Okay.
about that card tonight.
I
Yeah,
need
they're
to I need
fighting
to check
tonight.
that out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm going to ask
and
you
I
about that
think
card.
that's the guys I'd like to fight, actually, because they're entertaining, and I also like to test my skill sets against them.
Yeah.
See where I actually stand.
Mm.
Yeah.
And at one point, you know, Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, it was with your promotion. Did
Yes,
you have
that's
any
right.
interactions with him at all while did you cross paths at any time?
Yes, with the Jared Brooks fight, actually, I got to meet him. That was just before the fight,
Mm-hmm.
and such a lovely guy, man. I remember when I started mixed martial arts, someone was like, "Yeah, Demetrius, you like him? You've got those skill sets." And then I checked that guy out. I was like, "Geez, this guy's amazing." And
He's lethal.
he was one of the pinnacle points that made me want to become a
Mm,
successful mixed martial artist,
yeah,
just because of his skill sets, and,
yeah.
and just how he carries himself, that
Mm,
allowed me to also be myself with my skills as much as possible. And you look at that guy, he's the goat. He's the goat of mixed martial arts, and that's something most of us, so I believe, all the athletes should aspire to be.
yeah.
To be authentically like him, or not like him, but authentically themselves, and
Yeah.
be able to become the goat of mixed martial arts.
It'll be great to see. It'll be great to see, and we have big respect for Mighty Mouse. Demetrius Johnson over here is right up there. When we're talking the best MMA fighter of all time, you got I mean,
So
depending on
big time.
what divisions you're looking at, but for me, as far as your division goes, 125, 135, for me is the greatest. Is number one. Is that good. Demetrius Johnson, fantastic fighter. And everybody always say what you said, the way he carries himself, very, very humble, very
Yeah,
nice guy, comes across well to everyone until they lock you in the cage with him.
yeah,
Then,
yeah. Then it's a different person, different animal.
there is a monster. Um, one final thing here. Uh, KOs,
Yes,
submission,
sir.
dominance, bell to bells from start to finish. Which one do you prefer to? Which one's your poison? Which one do you like the most to
My
put on your
favorite,
opponent?
my favorite is dominance from start to finish.
Wow.
Sometimes KO, you can be like, "Oh, it was a lucky shot." You just hit me. Submission, you can be like, "Oh, I slipped and he caught me. I could have done this and this." But if someone dominates you for 3 rounds straight, and you have no answer of defeating that person. You
Mm.
know that person could have killed you anytime soon. If the fight carried on, that means the guy would have dominated you till your last breath. And
Yeah.
I love the domination style. I love,
Yeah.
if you can be dominant, I think then your opponent knows that they had no chance of beating you. As look as for the viewers, KOs are amazing. It's the
Yeah.
best thing, to show around the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have a KO fighter, like
Yeah.
or KO punch or KO power.
Yeah.
And with my last video, I got viral because of the KO, not of
Mm.
my dominance.
Yeah.
But I believe that as a mixed martial artist, then you look at the fights and you watch the dominant fight. It's the fights where you're like, oh, geez, that guy couldn't do anything, and he got dominated for all 5 or 3 rounds or however rounds there is. So that guy had no chance of actually winning that fight.
Mm.
And I think domination overall.
Fantastic. Oh man, thank you so much, man. And before we get out of here, before I let you leave, is there anybody that that you like to thank? What you got coming up? Do you have a fight coming up soon? Can you tell us more about that? You want to thank your coaches, your sponsors, all that good stuff. Please, the floor is yours.
Yes. Yeah, so firstly, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Silver Shore Technology, Labor Law. They've been looking out for me for very long. I forgot to mention IP. So they've been really, they had my back for very long. And recently, Carl Mayer, I call him the mayor of Devon. He's been hooking me out quite a lot. So I'm really grateful for that. And I'm always grateful for Richie Kwan, my main coach. He's really got me to where I am, and that's because of him. And he's just a mastermind. And I'm forever grateful for him, and the fact that I was able to move to Cape Town and found a home for myself. I would like to thank Don and Matt. They're the owners of the gym, and as you know, Don is my training partner, Wade Cuspy, Wade Hammett. There's a lot of guys that I'd like to mention, but to all my training partners, families, and all my fans in the UK, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
I can't believe this. This is amazing on my side, and I really appreciate that big time, guys. And to all my fans back here at home, I really appreciate you guys. And the last news I have is that I might have a fight in South Africa, a Muay Thai fight in South Africa.
Oh, yeah, man.
So we're still in negotiations of getting fights and organizing everything. And as soon as that is officially sorted, we'll be able to announce it, and we'll be able to announce the card and who I'm going to be fighting and so forth. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity. I'm still going to be fighting in one, but while I'm waiting to get a fight in one, I've got a chance to actually fight for my first Muay Thai fight in South Africa, which is quite nice. I will be fighting here in Cape Town.
That's going to be incredible, man. Is there a way that could be televised or streamed so we can watch you and support you, when it's happening? Eventually when it happens. I believe it's something.
The fight might be streamed.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So you'll be posting the link on your socials and all that. We're going to do everything we can to make sure we help you promote and push that fight as well. So whatever we can to help to promote it so you can get more eyeballs on it, we're going to do that from our end here as well, over here in the UK.
Awesome. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you for getting me into the studio, And
yeah, man.
The honor is mine. I never knew I had fans in the UK, so this is very nice for me. This is new for me, so I love this, man.
Yeah, man, you do, and from this interview, even more people, even more of our followers, they're gonna know more about you, know more about your story, and it be entwined with you, and and hopefully from then, you gather more fans, more eyeballs, more support from over here in the UK, and we're going to make sure that we do our part to make sure that your voice is heard and you get that you get that support over here from the UK and across the world. So yeah, I want to thank you so much as well for accepting our invitation. It's been a long time coming, but we got here in the end because I know how busy you are. You're a very, very busy man. You're a man in demand. And yeah, I want to thank you so much for sharing your time with us on our platform.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man. And hopefully down the line, in not too far, we're going to be able to bring you back on the channel, to talk more MMA with you, if that's all right with you.
Oh yes, that'll be very nice with me. So I'm more than welcome. Man. You know where to find me, and just message me that we can organize sometime. Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Okay, you guys, we're 47 minutes in, and you have been listening to Bokang, aka Little Giant. Go and check out his social. We're going to have his socials on the screen. We're going to have it in the description below. Go and follow Bokang on his Instagram, on his socials. Go over there and support whatever it is that he's got going on. He is a special athlete. All you have to do is just go over there and check out some of the stuff that he's doing, man. And yeah, up until our next video, hasta la vista, people. We're out.
Awesome. Cheers, brother.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.